In this video, we'll be reviewing different inequalities to get us ready for the test. So let's look at number 1. This is a rational inequality, so the first thing I want to do is move everything to one side of the equation. Then I need to combine them, so I need to find a common denominator, which is x in this case, and I need to multiply the top of every single fraction over here by x. So x times x is x to the power 2, then plus 12 minus 7x is less than or equal to 0. Let's rearrange the top of this fraction and factor it. So that's going to be x squared minus 7x plus 12 over x is less than 0. Now what multiplies to give me 12 and add to give me negative 7? And that's negative 3 and negative 4 over x is less than 0. So in this case, I see that there are two x-intercepts. And one vertical asymptote. And I need to represent that on the number line to see where my solution will be. So let's put them in order. So 0 is a vertical asymptote. At 3 and 4, these are x-intercepts, but I only want the negative value. So I'm going to put open circle at 3 and 4. So I would remember not to include them in my solution. Now I need to check the signs for a number less than 0, a number between 9 or 0 and 3, and a number between 3 and 4, and a number that's above 4. So let's create like a sign table and figure out what the signs will be. So I'm going to check, let's say, negative 1. I also want to check 1. I want to check 3.5, and let's say 5. Okay? So let's check them for every single factor. So that's going to be x minus 3, and x minus 4, and x. So negative 1 will make this negative. 1 will make this negative. 3.5 will make this positive, and 5 will make it positive. Negative 1 will make this negative, 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 and then positive. Now negative will make x negative. This is positive, and this is positive, and this is positive. So then that's going to give me a negative, positive. This is going to give me a negative, and that's going to give me a positive. So it's going to be negative, positive, negative, positive. And I want the negative value. So I want anything that's below 0 or between 3 and 4. And remember, I cannot include any of them. So negative infinity to 0, and then from 3 to 4. Now, do I have to create the table, the sign table? No. You can just take a number below 0 and plug it in to see what will that give you. And in this case, it gave me a negative, negative, and negative, and the multiplication of negative, negative, negative is just negative. It's just like a more organized way to figure out what your signs are, but you don't have to do it, okay? Now let's move on to number 2. 2 is a log 1, so what I need to do is always remember that the argument of the log has to be greater than 0. So x has to be greater than 0, and x plus 15 has to be greater than 0, so x must be greater than negative 15. Then I need to see where they both meet. So negative 15 go from negative 15 up, and then from 0 up. So then that means that my argument, or the x, has to be greater than 0 for this log to exist. Okay? So that is the domain restriction. X greater than 0, x greater than negative 15. Where do these two meet? That's what I need to consider. My x has to be greater than 0 for the log to exist. Now, after determining my domain restriction, I need now to solve this inequality. So remember, if there is a plus, it means you need to combine the arguments by multiplying them. So x squared plus 15x is less than 2. Then the base over here is 10. So 10 to the power log, the argument, is less than 10 to the power 2. This will cancel, so x squared plus 15 is less than 10 to the power 2, which is 100. So I need to move it over, and that's going to be less than 0. This is a quadratic, so what multiplies to give me negative 100 and add to give me 15? And that's x plus 20, and then x minus 5. So my two x-intercepts are negative 20 and 5. They're not going to be included, so that's an open circle for both of them. Now remember, this is quadratic, so simply you can think of the parabola. It has an a that's positive, so it's a parabola opening upward. So that's going to be a plus minus plus situation. Another way to think about it, if a is positive, on the outside is always same sign as a, which is positive, where a is the leading coefficient. And between those two x-intercepts is always going to be opposite to the leading coefficient, and that's a negative over here. So I need the negative values. That means that my solution is going to be between negative 20 and 5. But hold on, that's the solution. That's the domain restriction. I need to see where will they meet, and that's going to be my final solution. So negative 20 to 5. I got that from solving the inequality. And x greater than 0. I got that from the domain restriction. I need to see where they will meet. So from 0 to 5, that's going to be my final solution. That's how you solve logarithmic inequalities. Now let's move on to number 4. This is a radical, so I need to isolate the radical. And before I continue solving, you need to remember domain restriction. The inside of the radical, which is 3x plus 1, has to be greater than or equal to 0. So it's okay to have a 0 under the radical. It's okay to have a positive, but it's not okay to have a negative. So that means that x must be greater than or equal to negative 1/3 for this radical to even exist. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And now let's solve. In order to solve this, you need to square both sides. So x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now I need to move everything to one side of the equation. So it's going to be x squared minus 9x plus 8 greater than or equal to 0. So that means I need all the positive values. I need anything that would make this polynomial 0. So what multiplies to give me 8 and add to give me negative 9? And the answer is x minus 8 and x minus 1. Now, so that means that my two possible solutions are 8 and 1. But remember that this is a radical, so you need to always plug it in to see if it works or not. So let's try 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, that's 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. So that means that 1 will not work. I need to try 8. Now let's plug in 8. 8 minus 3 is a 5. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1. It's 25. The square root of 25 is 5, so that's equal to 5. So 1 did not work, so I have to cancel it out. Now remember, always check your solutions if you are solving radical equations or inequalities. So that means the only possible root in this inequality is 8. Now, since I want anything that's greater than or equal to 0, I'm going to include 8 in my solution. Now, take a number above 8, let's say 9. That's going to give me something positive and positive, so that's going to be a minus positive answer. I only need the positive, so that's going to be anything from 8 to infinity. Now, remember, you need to include the domain restriction and the solution into one solution. So you want anything that's greater than or equal to negative 1/3, anything greater than or equal to 8, and these will meet over here, so then the final solution is going to be from 8 to infinity. Go ahead, pause the video and try number 6 on your own. So the answer for number 6 was from 0 to infinity. Now pause the video and try number 7 on your own. So this is similar to the one we did earlier, which is number 1, rational inequality. So pause the video and try number 7 on your own. Now the correct answer for number 7 is negative infinity to negative 2 bracket union 3 parentheses to infinity. Now pause the video and try this other question on your own, and that's similar to the one we did earlier, which is the radical one, number 4. So the question is square root of 2x plus 5 greater than x plus 1. Now the correct answer for this question was bracket negative 5 over 2 to bracket. So far we have done a rational, a logarithmic, a radical. I would like to do an exponential one with you. So copy this problem down. Now to solve an exponential problem, first of all you have to isolate the exponential. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now remember, an exponential function has a domain of all real numbers, so I do not have a domain restriction in this case. So if I want to solve, since the base is e, I'm going to put ln in front of both of them. This will cancel out. Negative x plus 1 is less than ln 6. So x is greater than, you know what, let me do it one step at a time. Subtract 1, so ln 6 minus 1. Now if you divide by a negative, so x is greater than 1 minus ln 6. And that would be your answer for an exponential inequality. So to write it as an interval notation, it's going to be 1 minus ln 6. That's the solution all the way up to infinity. Now I would like to do an absolute value inequality with you. So first of all, you need to isolate the absolute value. So negative 3 absolute value of 4x plus 5 is greater than negative 21. Now you divide by negative 3 because you want to isolate the inequality or isolate the absolute value. And the moment you divide by a negative, the inequality shifts. Negative 21 divided by negative 3, that's a 7. So that is an AND situation. So 4x plus 5 is going to be between negative 7 and 7. So if you subtract 5 everywhere, it's going to give you negative 12 less than 4x, which is less than 2. Now if you divide by 4, negative 12 divided by 4 is going to be negative 3 less than x, which is less than 1/2. So my solution is going to be between negative 3 and 1/2. Now because it is less than, this is an AND situation. It means 4x plus 5 is less than 7 and 4x plus 5 is greater than negative 7. If this were to be greater than, then it's an OR situation. So that means that 4x plus 5 is greater than 7 or 4x plus 5 less than negative 7. So this is how you solve an absolute value inequality that looks like this. Now go ahead and try this one on your own. The answer for such an inequality is bracket 2, 12 bracket. Now let's do another type of absolute value inequality where I have something like this. So this looks more like a rational inequality. So don't worry about the absolute value. You will take care of the absolute value as you're doing the sign pattern on your number line. So now think about this as a rational inequality. First of all, think of the x-intercept. What makes the top of this fraction 0? If x is 5, then 5 minus 5 is 0. So that's your x-intercept. The vertical asymptote is x equals negative 3. So if I put that on the number line, at negative 3, I'm going to have a dotted line. At 5, the x-intercept is not included, so I'm going to have an open circle over there. Now let's take a number that's less than negative 3. Now, the absolute value is always going to be positive, so then I only care about what this number will do to the bottom of this fraction. Let's say negative 4. Negative 4 plus 3 is a negative. That's positive divided by negative, so that's negative. Take a number between negative 3 and 5, let's say 0, then positive, positive. Take a number greater than 5, let's say 6, then we'll have positive and positive. So then, my answer choice is going to be anything between negative 3, 5 not included, and then from 5 to infinity. Now another type of problem is going to be if I have a sign pattern. So let's say I have these on the number line. Okay, so let's say that the sign is plus, plus, minus, and then plus, plus. So in this case, I want to write the rational inequality. So the first thing I want to consider are my x-intercepts. So I know I have an x plus 1 and an x minus 5 on the top. Now, this is either a whole or the vertical asymptote, so you need to decide. Because there's no change in sign, so that's going to be a whole, so I'm going to put x plus 3 on the top and the bottom of my rational inequality. Now at 0, I have a vertical asymptote, so I'm going to put x on the bottom. So this is a possible inequality. Now another thing you need to pay attention to is at this x-intercept, since it's included, apparently the function is going to be up and then up, so apparently it's bouncing, so don't forget to put a square at the x minus 5. So because it's closed, that means that the x-intercepts are included in my solution. This is going to be up and then going down, so this is going to be to the power 1. However, over here it's going to be up and then up, so that's going to be a square over here. But don't forget to put an inequality, so let's say you can say greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 0, that does not matter. Now another type of problem I would like to do with you is solving graphically. So let's say I have something like this. Okay, the first thing I need to do is to fix this. So I need to factor out the negative and it becomes x minus 3, because that's going to affect how my graph is going to look like. Now that will not change the inequality since I'm not dividing by negative, I just factor the negative out. So the first x-intercept is 0, 3, 5 over 3, multiplicity of 2, so it's going to bounce, and then negative 4, multiplicity of 3, so it's going to wiggle. So let's go ahead and mark the x-intercepts on my graph. So I have negative 4, 0, 3, and then 5 over 3 where it's going to bounce. Now I need to know whether it's going to be what the end behavior is. So it's going to be negative, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be negative odd. That means it's going to start up and then end up down. It's going to be an up-down function. Remember, wiggle over here. So you're going to wiggle at negative 4, go through this, bounce, and then go through 3. Now remember, your job is not to only graph it. You need to know what part of this inequality is going to be less than or equal to 0. So you want the roots, so let's mark it as a filled circle. So I want these, and I want anything that is below the x-axis. So then my solution is going to be anything between negative 4 and 0, both of them included. I want the root 5 over 3, and I want the root 3 to infinity. Okay?